This is a Little Empire podcast. Visit us at littleempirepodcast.com and on Instagram at Little Empire Podcasts.
You gonna play that dastardly intro again?
Ow! This movie's still fine. One of them dies, they go screw. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jack. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
I don't
You
even.
forget that films are supposed to have a point.
I don't even know if that thing's on.
No, these certainly don't sound on.
It's that's my bed.
Hello. Good evening, Sydney, Australia. Yes. Truly a pleasure to be here.
Isn't it though?
It
Hey,
is.
thanks for coming, everybody. We're here at the Enmore Theatre in the Wild Oats Room, and it's usually a wine bar, but tonight it is a den of iniquity.
Inequity.
It is a church of inequality. It is a place of happenstance.
Is that what
and
inequity
evil.
means?
What? Inequality?
Inequality.
I don't think so.
Get out of this den of inequity. Does anyone know? Don't be afraid to shout out if you know what inequity means. How many people have used the turn of phrase den of inequity before? What?
One
Do you know
hand
what
up.
inequity means? Then you and I know better than each other, sir. We're fools. For those of you listening later on, I pointed at one person, but the person in front of them thought I was pointing at classic social miscue. Oh my goodness. I hope we can all
Speaking
recover.
of, I thought we were going to get dressed up for this.
I thought, yeah. I thought you were like fancy dress, like get dressed up.
Guy's wearing a bright yellow Australia top with some, didn't used to be quite so, but now quite ill-fitting loose jeans.
Tim is wearing quite a nice suit.
Thank you.
With a shirt and shoes that just don't match.
No.
And
Too right. But my watch and pocket square do.
yeah, cool, man. That's really cool, dude.
Yeah, I'm a cool guy.
I think you lose points for having to point out what parts of your outfit match.
That's true.
As a general rule of thumb. Look, you guys, we just watched We Are Your Friends for either, and I don't know or care, the 43rd or 44th time.
It's literally impossible to tell.
It's like flying with that file on a computer is literally like having to check in a dead animal on every flight. They don't know it's there, but you do. It's so hard. It's so hard now. And and you know, but here we all are. You're all here. We're all here. So there's got to be something going right.
People are filing into the room in Sydney, Australia. Make some noise if you're up to date with the episodes. Cool, okay, few people. So you'll know that, like, in our last... I'm going to close that. I was going to videotape this, but the angle's all wrong, so I'm just going to turn it off.
Terrible
Yeah,
angle.
it's all gone.
You couldn't see it. It was just our respective
like
left and
our-
right arms.
Mid. Wasn't going to work.
You put that online as a bit of content. Lovely bit of content for the vultures to feed on.
Absolutely. Got to keep that creation pipeline open. So, in the last episode, we sort of got really into the fact that the party is over now, and this is almost turning into a wake for the film We Are Your Friends.
Oh, that's okay. Within 15 minutes, Tim looked at me when we were watching the movie today, and we both made a point of really paying attention today. We both said to each other at the start, we said, all right, man, let's really get in. Let's break through, the wall of indifference that we've been building brick by brick together week after week.
The wall of iniquity.
And really... It's either a different word or you don't know the meaning of it. So...
Can it be both?
Yeah, it definitely can. I'd say there are a lot of different words you don't know the meaning of. But we really both meant to engage with the movie, to deliver you guys a premium grade podcast episode of the highest order. And what happened is after 15 minutes, Tim looked at me in the eyes and said, Guy, I can't watch this movie. And that's crazy. It's crazy to me that it's a surprise to anyone that you can't watch this movie, because this is the third year in a row we've reached a point where we just can't watch the movie.
Yeah. It's that weird sensory discombobulation where you're experiencing the movie, it's not going... Or like you're next to the movie. Here's how I would describe it. It's being next to the movie.
Here's where it's gone awry. And we did figure this out today, so it was not for nothing. Here's where the whole project has fallen down in Season 3. The movie, on account of its indie roots, is largely shot with the background in soft focus. And what that means is our favourite hobby of looking for anything else to do is gone. It's like they made it knowing we'd choose it. And they're like, well, let's see how you fucking handle this.
Hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to get some digital SLRs and some very low f-stops on those lenses, and we're going to blur the fuck out of everything that you're not supposed to pay attention to. Here's the Coley's face. It is the crispest, most gorgeous face you've ever seen. And you will not see anything else in this scene, because we're going to take it away from you. We're going to obscure it.
Yeah.
And they have, and it is maddening, because in Grown Ups 2, they had such a light touch to the filming process that I feel like, I mean, we know that there wasn't really a script, but I don't even know that they blocked it particularly. So they just arranged a bunch of comedians to be in a spot on a street in a town,
and
then flick the camera on.
Yeah.
And when you do that, you have a lot of shit.
And
You're capturing natural life.
The point of difference was everyone was in focus in that movie. It was just that the main actors were closer to the camera.
It was shot very flat.
So you got to watch the stuff happening in the background, and you know it was just a bunch of professional extras who'd been waiting 4 hours for the basketball game to finish, just passing the time until they can go home again.
And even Sex and the City too. They picked their moments of gloss and shallow depth of field, but mainly you can see everything in the film. There's a dude behind there. You know, we're picking that up. We're seeing that.
We're currently marooned with a group of characters we no longer have anything to talk to about.
Yeah, I got to make sure this is recording, because this is.
You really do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard because you do get every now and then you get one wrong.
Oh, you don't have to sugarcoat it.
No. But the thing is, I would love nothing more than to rip into you, but.
I'm really afraid the battery's going to run out.
Oh, great, man. That's great. That's a real good bit of tension to just throw into the room.
Yeah. I quite like it.
But
in any good movie, you have something called the time bomb, which is like, you know, as you come to the climax of the film, you've got to have something that's kind of time sensitive, and we've got it in this very episode of the podcast in front of a live audience. We're racing the battery
What's the time bomb, and where are your friends?
How
do you know all these like jargony turns of phrase for script writing?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I don't know. I'm online a lot. You just kind of see shit. You
don't know where it comes from, but it gets in.
Yeah. Osmosis? Yeah. Am I using that word right? Who knows?
That's what plants... No, that's photosynthesis.
Yeah. It's a different thing.
I don't think plants get to use osmosis because plants don't have brains. That's why vegans are okay with eating. Vegans can't eat shellfish because they think they have feelings.
This suit is so much hotter than it looks. There's no like ventilation or something.
It's
Something's
warm in
gone
here,
wrong.
huh?
I think it's this shirt's quite a thick shirt as well.
Well, I'm also facing a problem, Tim, because I didn't pack any deodorant, and this T-shirt, in spite of how expensive it looks, very cheap material. Really trapping the smell beneath the cotton.
We're just two sweaty boys watching Zac Efron do his thing for the 40th time. And we're going, you know what? He's in this town somewhere. Is he in the room?
Oh, yeah.
Is Zac Efron
that's true.
here?
Zac Efron is in Sydney right now. Zac, did you come... We would have noticed, and you would have too.
There would have been a security detail. I imagine wherever that man goes, it's kind of similar to a president. Like there's a secret service force that surrounds him of security guards. Honestly, and because they have to be way bigger than Zac Efron, and Zac Efron's like max big at the moment. Those are some huge dudes. We'd notice them.
He's quite short, I imagine. A lot of people in Hollywood, a lot of people they breed him short down there. They put all the focus on their features and they forget to stretch them out. So you get a lot of very chiseled, beautiful people under 5'8", you know.
Do you think it's like a video game where you got a set amount of points and they've kind of put it all into the face?
Yeah. It's like when you used to choose a car on Gran Turismo and it can either be fast or handle well, but never both.
Yeah.
I bet you Zac Efron is a phenomenal lay, though, which for you guys isn't related to the last point, but for me, there's a very direct line between that Gran Turismo analogy and me imagining how good Zac Efron is
whipping out that box office gold and having his wicked way. And that's another thing, and we won't delve too much into this, which I'm mainly saying for your benefit. But, like, when you watch this movie so many times, all you get left is really base elements of it. Like, the movie is trying to do a few things. It's trying to capture a few different audiences. One of the audiences is it's trying to get a genuine fuckboys who have disposable income to see movies. And the way they do that is by showing us just enough of Emily Ratajkowski's breasts.
Well, they also show us a movie that focuses on 4 fuckboys. So they get, you know, it's good for fuckboys to
with these guys.
Yeah.
Oh, boobs, cool.
It's great that the fuckboys finally get some people to relate to on screen, I think.
Yeah.
It's about time 4 20-something white men really got to go into a cinema and see themselves for once.
I know.
But
representation among young, white, middle-class men has been a problem for a long time.
It has, and it's something that not a lot of people talk about, but we're brave because we are them.
We're brave boys.
Which means that we're not brave so much as insulated from insecurity. That's not right either. You can be insecure. What Tim was trying to say, though, is that once you have dealt with the plot of the movie, which I think we did, I was remembering this week how I used to be so... whenever Zacaefron and Somali would have sex, I was like, well, this isn't going to end well. And then when he gets to text...
You've just admitted they had sex.
Oh, no.
Shame.
Well, it's suggested. We don't actually get to see any penetration. As far as I know, it's a sex-free movie.
I wasn't paying attention to what you were saying. I just noticed that you let the gas.
Well, you've been
so
trying to catch me out on that phrase. What I'm trying to say is once you've dealt with all of the elements of plot, so once you've accepted that Zacaefron and Somali... there's infidelity there, and then James Reed has to confront it, and all of the plot elements, you are just left with the moving parts of the movie, which are all obviously beautifully in focus. But what's happened is every week that goes past where it's harder to care about the characters and what's happening in the story, it just strips away all the carefully constructed layers of me being a decent human being that I've built, over years and episodes of the podcast. Yeah. And I'm just all I want to watch in that movie now is Emily Ratajkowski's tits. I'm just sitting there like, just give me the tits. That's all I want. That's the only thing this movie is good for now. Yeah. Is a few sweet, sweet shots of those cans. And I don't like that about myself.
Of course you don't.
No one's made us do this, but that's what's happened.
Where'd you get a water from?
A fridge.
Fuck, that's good. So that's not only water, but it's cold.
And it's not only cold water. This brand is called IQ Spring Water. And do you want to know, they've got an explanation for why it's called IQ Spring Water.
Go on.
Intelligence applied, quality assured. How do you apply intelligence to water?
You put it in a bottle and sell it to people.
That's pretty much it. And then they provide some information. Ion sanitation, 0.2 micron, like a lot of stuff, which doesn't mean
Throwing
anything.
a lot of numbers at us. Any other good stuff on that bottle there, Guy, that you want to delve into while we've got a captive audience who's paid to be here?
Yep. They use an ozone-free process.
What is the process that uses ozone to distill water, though? I haven't heard of it.
There you go.
It's like, hey, guess what? No kittens were killed in the making of this bottle of water. It's like, I should sort of hope not.
Yeah. I didn't assume any were. Now you brought it up, I'm kind of wondering.
It's such a good marketing scheme, to be like, I can assure you that our brand, we do not murder animals to purify our water. It's like, I didn't realize that was the thing that was going on. And that's what I love about this podcast.
What do you love about this podcast? What do you know? Look at me in the eyes. What do you love at this point? What do you love about this podcast, aside from the fact that people pay to watch it?
Because, I can only speak for our podcast. I can only speak for the one that we make. No animals are killed to make this podcast. I can assure you of that.
Yeah. I just think that you shouldn't make promises that, I just think that you're speaking for half of the podcast. And I feel like you're forgetting that there's another half.
That's true.
And look, I'm not saying I do kill animals.
But you kind of want to hold on to your ability to do so if you
I don't want to paint myself into a corner whereby if an animal, if there's a microphone on one side of a room and an animal in between me and the microphone and the animal's being hostile, I don't want to have to get to the microphone without killing the, I want to be able to deal with the animal. I just feel
You're the worst kind of entitled millennial.
Oh, yeah.
I want all options available to me. Don't you dare limit my choices. And I will come down hard on anyone who hurts an animal, but I definitely don't want anyone to impede my right to be able to hurt an animal.
That's not millennial specific. That's everyone.
It's just selfishness, isn't it? Really?
That's every person. Do you like to lock in your...
Hold on. Wait on a sec.
Every person
wants to reserve the ability to kill an animal on their way to the microphone.
You're mixing our metaphors here, Tim.
I guess so.
Every person wants to be able to, do you like to make plans in advance, or do you like to leave them open so that in case something better comes up, you get it?
Yeah.
Everyone's like that.
All right.
Here's
a question
perfect,
for you. What do you think is the big So Zac Efron at the moment is in Sydney promoting Baywatch, and he's maximum buffed up to be on this junket.
Too muscly, in my opinion.
What is the biggest animal that you think Zac Efron could take down in hand-to-hand combat at the moment?
Fuck, man. He gets laid out by James Reed from the Feelers, who's a washed-up alkie, so...
That's in the script, though. I'm talking about in real life. Because I reckon Zac Efron's been doing some...
Do you think, are they water muscles, or do you reckon he can really fuck around? I reckon he could kill a German Shepherd.
I reckon you could probably kill a German Shepherd?
Nah, man.
Do you reckon that would take you out?
Goes against all of my morals. It's not a question of physicality. It's a matter of principle.
Let me ask you this. You, German Shepherd, microphone behind it. What's up?
That's a very different situation.
Yeah, isn't it? I've changed the game.
I'd say if you were to lay money.
Honestly, do you reckon you couldn't take down an adult German Shepherd? I guess
No
they're trained to
weapons?
kill, eh?
No
Yeah,
weapons.
Just you.
What is it? Is it like? I mean, what's the situation? Is it angry? Is it sleeping?
A sleeping German Shepherd to kill. That's
I
so
don't think-
brutal. That is fucking metal, dude.
I don't think I could. I don't think I could kill it.
Yeah, I don't think I could either now that I've thought about it for a hot second. Because that's a police dog. You know, they picked that breed for a reason.
Yeah, a lot of
Hey.
people they call them Alsatians as well. That's the same
Is it
dog.
the same breed?
That's the same dog. Any dog experts in?
Oh, it's so
We
good to have
usually
an
we
audience that
usually
knows
draw
fucking nothing.
We usually draw
It is?
quite a big dog crowd.
Alsatians is the same. Is that German?
The word
Is
Alsatian
it
is
German for shepherd? They changed it during World War II. I'm going to repeat what you say because you're not mic'd up. Thank you for your information, sir.
So what?
Are you one of those dudes that watches a lot of World War II documentaries?
little-
What is a lot? You're right. It is all comparative, isn't it?
You know what a lot is.
A lot is when you know that the word Alsatian is definitely
Yeah,
the correct
a lot-
German parlance.
A
for
lot
German
is when
shepherd.
you're the only person in a room of roughly 100 who can assuredly say, yeah, no, they changed that during the war. That's a lot.
Would we call it 100?
Come on, man. This is for the people
Sorry.
listening.
Yeah, right.
None of these guys can yell out loud enough to correct us live.
Generous rounding, I think.
Well, that's
So,
pretty good.
okay, back to the task at hand. What sized animal could Zac Efron, at peak physical condition, which I believe he's in right now, take down?
Okay.
Like a small bear?
In the bear family, he could take a koala.
Are koalas secretly quite vicious?
No, but yes.
They are, right? They've got like talony. They're not a bear. They're a marsupial, which excludes them from the bear family.
No,
Okay, cool.
some horse shit. They're a bear.
Yeah.
They're called a koala bear. In all of your shops where I buy my T-shirts, they don't say, "Do you want to buy this small plush koala marsupial?" They don't fucking say that. They go, "Yeah, we've got a whole lot of koala bear merchandise here." Crazy to me.
You ever seen a big ass adult koala?
What, like a full grown?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, they're
God, they're
tiny.
so scary, eh?
How big are you thinking?
Like 2 meters tall. I've seen it. I'm thinking of kangaroo, but I've seen they both start with a K.
That's why you should let these people poison
Yeah.
you by calling them marsupials. That's where the confusion crept in.
Yeah, that's true.
Look, I
Leave me
think
astray.
I think Zac Efron could kill virtually everything in the dog family. I think
Imagine
he
a
could kill
2 meter tall
he could
koala.
kill a lynx. He could kill a bobcat. He could not
Okay.
kill. He could kill a cheetah. He could not kill anything bigger in the cat family
Not
than
a
a
jaguar.
cheetah.
Do you reckon I could kill a cheetah though? A cheetah wouldn't kill him.
Cheetahs are thin,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
and do you know they get tired? They're very good from they've got like a good 200 meters in them, I think, but they get gassed real fast.
They're explosive.
Which is why they're so svelte. They don't eat much.
Well, the science checks out over here.
Who do you think? Can I ask? Oh, this is interesting, actually. Who do you think is the more intelligent half of the podcast? Should we do it?
I don't mind losing to you. That's fine.
Yeah, I don't
Or
mind. I
besting you.
definitely don't mind losing to you either. I'm fine with that.
The stakes couldn't be lower.
Can we do an honest round of applause? Who thinks that me, Guy Montgomery, is more intelligent than Tim Batt? Oh, God.
They might just be gun shy. They might not clap for me.
Well,
But I don't often get to do a victory lap around you. By honest round of applause, just clap your hands if you think that I am the smarter of the two of us on the podcast.
Why? Because he does a side one about politics? That doesn't make you smart.
No, it doesn't.
That makes you boring. What's that?
I'm not wearing a bow tie at all.
Listen to our Luddite audience who have no idea what intelligence is. Or
He's
a
smart 'cause
bow
he's wearing a
tie.
bow tie. Firstly, that doesn't make someone smart. Secondly, no, he's not. You're insane.
That is
0
insane.
for 2, dude. 0 for 2.
Oh, no. It's a shame that podcasting is largely a listening medium because
Can I throw a question at you?
me.
What has happened in that bathroom this week?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah?
So it's a new game and a fun game. Pretty much, Johnny Depp comes out of a bathroom
You're
after.
a burning time, aren't you?
No,
Putting yourself
I'm
up
just
to-
providing context.
We've done it. We've bet it in. Everyone knows how this works.
Do they?
Clap if you know how it. Now I'm abusing it.
Yeah. Look, what's happening in the bathroom? I don't know. Johnny Depp is whistling, which suggests to me that maybe a wild animal has gotten in. Maybe a raccoon. Maybe a fox. Voiced by George Clooney. Who's to say? Maybe Wes Anderson was at the party the night before, mucking around with his claymation models in the bathroom, and instead of cleaning them up like he usually does, very fastidious, you only need to watch one of his movies to know that, he's just left clay all over the place. And some of the clay is brown, and it's in the toilet, and he's like, oh, no, the toilet's clogged. But don't worry about it, Johnny Depp. It's just clay. It's just heaps of clay in the bathroom.
Where's Anderson's clay?
Yeah. Where's Anderson's clay happened to the bathroom? No one seems satisfied by that, but fuck you.
But, I mean, fucking what a party.
Yeah.
If what we are seeing in the front room is some kick-ass beats and a lot of weed being spoken, and meanwhile, what's happening in
Smoked.
the toilet... Sorry?
A lot of weed being smoked.
What did I say?
Smoking.
Okay. You got a little chip on your
thank you.
shoulder there, mate.
No.
Where's
it how I sees it.
Anderson to be holed up in your bathroom just doing clay shit while your party's happening? Like, that's a level of sophistication of
I
a dinner
know.
party that I've not seen before.
Wouldn't call it a dinner party.
I would now, though. That's the thing. Like, I wouldn't before, but if Wes Anderson is there in the bathroom making clay things, I'd be like, this is a dinner party.
That says to me that your measure of whether or not a dinner party qualifies as a dinner party is not whether or not a meal is laid out,
Correct.
but it's the caliber of the guests.
Exactly. That's precisely right.
If you ask me to a dinner party and I come around to your house and some of my favourite people in the room and
No
there's
longer
no
a dinner
food,
party. If
I
you're
will
there,
be-
it's not a dinner party anymore.
that is unnecessarily mean. And you lost the audience with that.
I'm not
They all
playing for
agree.
them.
You're playing for you.
Yeah, I'm playing for me. I'm playing for me, my invisible bow tie, and this
It isn't.
excellent game show suit.
It isn't. I think. I think. I understand what you're saying, and it is pretty amazing that Wes Anderson would be at a party and they were getting so gassed up on drugs,
Yeah.
illicit drugs.
Could you point out Wes Anderson in a lineup, though?
Yeah.
I don't know what
He's
he
the
looks
guy
like.
holding all the clay.
Yeah, that's true. So that's the giveaway. Johnny Depp's name is Wes, isn't it? In the off season.
No. That's Johnny. That's James Reed from the Feelers.
Oh,
Name's
that's Wes
That's Wes
Bentley.
Bentley.
Gotcha.
Of American Beauty fame.
Gotcha.
He's handsome. We don't
He
talk
is
about it very
handsome.
much, but he's handsome too.
We don't like to give
Here's
him that.
another thing. Outside of Somali's tits, I would also love to see more close-ups of the men's butts. They've all got great butts. All the boys. Real taut butts.
I don't think...
I've got a
and-
pretty good butt. These jeans are too loose to show it off, but I've got a pretty tight little butt. Just saying.
So proud of yourself. I don't think we, or the movie, makes a big enough deal of how cut Squirrel is. We only see it when they're jumping in the pool and he's about to nail himself on the concrete because he's got his jeans around his ankles. But he's got a body. He's got a body,
That's the
bro.
base. He's the nerd of the friend group, right? And
Yeah.
that's the base level of bod. Unless you're getting cast as the schlubby sidekick.
Yeah.
I think that's the base level for entry into a Hollywood film, which is, I think reasonable.
That's
I don't want to watch. I
terrifying.
don't want to watch people like me on screen.
Ah.
I
They got an audible awe of sympathy from the crowd for Guy.
it could have been discussed.
That's more like, ugh.
No, but there's like maybe they came into this podcast thinking, guy seems like a nice, reasonable dude, and now they're leaving being like, he's
talking about
ogling
Sonley's tits
he's
a lot.
ogling tits and butts, and he just wants to
Yeah.
look at muscly people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Well, then let me take this opportunity to say what the audience is thinking. You're a real piece of shit, Guy Montgomery.
That's fine. Yeah, people love it when you say that.
Yeah. Who would have thought we'd have a catchphrase, eh?
You have a catchphrase.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't have a catchphrase.
You just take it. This is your part of the catchphrase. You have to be the subject of it.
I experimented
It's like when Urkel... Wait, what? With what?
a catchphrase.
Oh, your catchphrase is excellent, actually, and I think people miss it. I know I do.
Well,
Maybe it'll come back later. I
Yeah.
don't want to force it. You're not a show pony.
I'm not.
You're not a
I'm
dancing
not.
monkey.
I'm a thoroughbred. Not a show pony. Tim, I got to say, I feel like we're not really
Getting into the film?
getting into the content, getting into what we actually just watched.
Fair.
So I ask you this.
Yes.
Any standout performances this week? Any specifically poor or frustrating performances?
I'll tell you what, the woman who has a fun fact about sushi not being fresh, not a good performance from her this week at all.
What issue do you take?
She's pushing too hard. It's unnaturalistic acting, and I won't stand for it in this film.
It's not. You do you think that the film is grounded in reality?
The only person who destroys it for me most weeks is Jarhead. And Johnny Depp a little bit. But everyone else, I think, is doing a pretty good job of keeping the suspended disbelief there for me.
There was a scene between Zaccoli and Squirrel this week when they were in the sushi restaurant, bearing their feelings and souls to one another, where we both looked at each other and said, "We are watching a masterclass today."
It was a tour de force of acting.
It
between
really
two
was.
giants of the form.
And you know what the secret is? I figured it out. If there are any aspiring actors in the room, all you got to do is you got to find out what to do with your hands,
Yeah.
and then
Did
you're
you
laughing.
notice the flourish that Squirrel had? I've never seen it before until this week. You think we're going to be doing real estate the rest of our lives?
I did not.
It was less. I feel like it's quite effeminate when I'm doing it now out of context. But when he does it, it's very naturalistic and just
You
kind
think
of.
we're going to be doing
underscores what
real
he's saying.
estate the rest of?
Yeah, but there's got a roll on it. A roll of the wrist. Real estate the rest of our Now it's just sassy the way I'm doing
Yeah.
it. You think we're going to be doing real estate? I was like, I don't know, dude.
That was a good performance, but you found that the sushi lady who requests Drunken Love
Yeah,
was not up to snuff this week.
absolutely.
How do you feel about her week in, week out?
Patchy.
Has she ever turned in a performance where you're like, wow.
I assume so.
Brava!
Yeah. After almost 4 dozen watches of a film, I'm sure that one tricked me and she got in and won
It's
an
not a
Oscar.
trick, man. It's not a trick if you enjoy it. It's
Oh.
a success.
Nah, you can be tricked into liking something. It doesn't mean it's good.
Give me an example.
I don't want to.
You must.
All right. If you're watching a movie blisteringly stoned and you're like, this is a masterpiece, and then you wake up in the morning, you're like, Harold and Kumar escaped from Guantanamo Bay, maybe shouldn't have got the Oscar after all that I picked it for.
That's not a trick. That's a decision you made.
I think it's a trick of the weed. You know, like a trick of the light, but with weed.
Oh, no, I understand what you're saying, that
Good.
weed can heighten an experience. I
Yeah.
don't think it really backs up your statement of there's such a thing as a trick. Oh, now you've muddied the waters of my brain.
Okay. Well, what did you think this week, buddy? Did you think anyone had a particularly sterling performance who wasn't named Squirrel or Zaccoli in that specific scene?
No, I watched 15 minutes of the movie and then sort of it happened around me.
You look like you're having a flashback. You're gripping my arm. I'll just announce to people not in the room. And your eyes have kind of glossed over. You're like a Vietnam vet.
No,
going
well,
back. Charlie's everywhere.
I'm the opposite in that there was a bit at the end of the movie. It happens every time. It's Zaccoli's closing monologue.
You checking your phone?
No. And it's like the movie.
You're going to have to tell me what you're doing with your phone because you've got it out and now you're just kind of waving it. Have you written stuff down?
Someone is striking me as a little impatient this week. I don't want to name names. It rhymes with bim tat. So the movie purported, like Zaccoli, it's the same thing actually at the end of it, because we're in the midst of the Sydney Comedy Festival. It's the same thing at the end of a show when a comedian's like, and now for the last minute I have to stop being funny and pretend that there was something to this.
Yeah.
And they do this in the movie. And Zaccoli closes the movie by being like, he sort of does a sweeping comment about millennials and like, it's like what we're capable of now, what you can do, and what it takes. Also, he's so far ahead of his station. At the end of the movie, the closing monologue suggests that Zaccoli has made it as a DJ. Zaccoli has just bombed the one opportunity he got in his life.
And the one opportunity was a gig in a car park at an American Apparel, which has since gone out of business.
Yeah.
And not just that store, but the chain.
A gig-
Like, that's how bad he bombed out.
A gig that was
Do you know how poor you have to be at beat matching to bankrupt an American giant? Real bad.
And so over the tail end of this horribly beat match song, he starts preaching to the audience about the experiences that he's had in the film and what he's learned from it.
Yeah.
And he references back to earlier in the film, in Johnny Depp's inspirational speech. He says, "I just found out that someone had to make Instagram," pretty much. He's like trying to get to get the boys raised up, and he's like, "Hey guys, you know that app we all use, Instagram? Someone made that." And so at the end of it, he does this speech, and I was so specifically fucked off this week that I went on IMDb and I found it. I found the speech, the closing monologue by Zac, and I took a screenshot of it on my phone. Thank you very much.
Are you going to give us a reading?
I'm going to give you a reading, and this is what he says. These days, and this is meant to either impart a message or inspire the movie watcher. These days, you can invent an app, start a blog, sell shit online. I mean, all three of these things. I don't need a failed DJ to tell me that these are options I have. But if you're a DJ, you're going to need to start. Well, actually, whoever's transcribed this on IMDb's made in a very humiliating error. They've spelled star. I noticed these things. I'm very smart. S-M-A-R-T. But if you're a DJ, you're going to need to start with one track. So, I don't think that's right. I think if you're a DJ, you're going to need to start by learning to mix other people's music. Probably get out there, hustle, grind.
Touché.
And if it's real enough
and honest enough and made of everything that's made you, where you came from, who you know, knew,
your history.
You knew your history.
Then you may have a chance at and they've made. I'll tell you, I don't know who's transcribed this. Connecting with everyone else. So yeah, and if it's real enough and honest enough, and it's made of everything that's made you, where you come from, who you knew, your history, then you may have a chance to connect with everyone else. He's just summing up the terrible song he just made. He's pretty much being like, hey, I'll tell you what, here's what I've learned from my experience as a DJ. If you just make some recordings on your phone over 2 weeks before the gig and just slap them together with a beat that doesn't work, that's enough.
That should be the name of this movie, eh? That's enough.
It works in every which way.
Zac Efron, Emily Ratajkowski, and Wes Bentley star in. That's enough.
That's how the execs approved it. The Maximum Joseph's in the room. That's enough.
Do you want another draft?
That's enough. Yeah.
Truly. Should we shoot another couple scenes just to sit? That's enough.
I think everyone.
Hey, I feel like this could spend maybe another couple of weeks in the edit suite.
Easy. The editor's not very happy or mentally well. I think that's enough. Thanks, Max. And it goes, and so yeah, and then you may have a chance to connect with everyone else. And maybe that's your ticket to everything. Don't fuck. Oh. I tell you, the only person who's done a worse job than whoever wrote this closing monologue is the person who's transcribed it to the IMDb page. Because it now just jumps to Jarhead's line, don't fuck with me, I'm in a good mood. But it's written as though Zac saying it in his closing monologue. So this is how it reads now.
Yeah, I want to hear this actually.
Then you may have a chance at connecting with everyone else, and maybe that's your ticket to everything. Don't fuck with me, I'm in a good mood. I'm here to inquire about a free piece of pie that was advertised.
That's so good.
Oh, well, I believe that offers only on Thursdays, but I mean, I could make an exception, I guess. This is the best part. The best part of anything, really. It's the moment before it starts. That, according to IMDb, is the closing monologue.
This feels like I feel like you've tripped over a concept here of getting like a shooting script and getting the dialogue of other people and kind of like just bunching it up together so it's one speech and trying to sell that.
Do you think Zac recorded it as one speech and then they watched the rushes and they were like, this doesn't make sense. We're going to have to ADR other people saying some of these lines for context.
Because I reckon what's happened is that quote was on before the movie came out and someone got the script. That's what that's from.
I see.
I wouldn't put anything past these people at this point. There's so much nonsense in the film that anything is possible.
Well, okay, so we've been mean. Shall we be nice?
Sure.
Do you have anything that you specifically enjoy? Perhaps, I don't know, if only there was some sort of turn of phrase which would capture what I want from you right now. Maybe a bright torch.
My bright torch this week is a guy who is at the presumably night class or community college course that Somali is taking.
Stanford, it ain't.
And it's like a There's about half a dozen people in a lecture hall that looks like it could take about 100. Doesn't feel so different from right now. No, I'm just kidding.
You are.
Me being
now you're being
self-effacing.
needlessly mean to us.
There's
And our beautiful paying punters. Over 200 of them, I count.
Donald Trump over here. There
Don't
is-
you don't just applaud someone for saying the name of the president. That doesn't work.
There's a guy who is behind Somali about 3 rows and just like almost out of shot, and he just looks so tired and bored, and he's just slumped over a book. And I've never seen him before, but I'm like, there's a bit of realism for me. You know?
Yeah.
That is something I would expect to see in a community college
I
course.
feel
Someone
like-
who just doesn't want to be there, hunched over a book. Hey guys, I feel like I haven't talked to you at all this show. How you doing?
I bought a skateboard off you.
Oh, you're the dude! It's the fucking guy! What's
This
your name
guy,
again?
James.
James. Were
It's-
you at like Melbourne last year or something?
No. Here's what happened with James.
Yeah.
James, we were in. When we did our show in New York City, we were out for it. We were having some drinks with our partners,
I don't know
and
why you have to say it like that.
because I like to be ambiguous about whether we're straight or not.
Oh, okay, cool.
And we were talking, and then two people came over, 2 Australian people came over, and they're like, "Hey, are you guys?" So it's really weird. Are you guys Tim and Guy? Do you do a podcast? And we're like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, this is really weird." But her little brother is
Yeah.
a huge fan of the podcast.
Yeah.
We have this postcard. Could you write on the postcard to him? And we were like, "Yeah, sure, okay." So we wrote on this postcard. It got sent. Like a year later, last year in September, I was in Sydney and I went out to Manly. I was devastatingly hungover, and some kid was skateboarding out the front of a skate shop on a board. And I was like, fuck, that looks so much better than walking. I'm going to go and buy one of those. And I go into the store, and the guy who was skateboarding was James. And he was like, this is crazy. You guys wrote me a postcard this year. How insane is that?
That
And he's
is-
here. James Vertucci, everybody.
That is powerful.
Tucci
good,
Feely on Instagram. I know you, man. I follow your life, dude.
That's really cool.
That's
It's a
nuts.
family, isn't it?
But so
An
what?
abused family that we've built here through the internet.
But what you saw was yourself in the movie.
Who cares about what I was talking about? This is incredible. St. James is in the front. This is good. I feel
care.
warm. I feel so warm. I am sweating
Do you know-
profusely.
Tim chose a shining light in the second to last frame of the movie. Halfway through, I found mine, and Tim said, "Oh fuck, you've got one." And then obviously just forgot about it until it was almost too late and grabbed the last thing.
Oh, don't say
and what
like
you
that.
like and what you saw was
Nah.
you watching the movie.
Come
It was a
on.
character in the film, but you were essentially looking at your reflection in the screen
It
going,
was-
I can relate to that.
It was realism. It
Yeah.
was a piece of realism I saw in the film, and I gravitated towards it. How dare you? How dare you
Sorry, Tim.
still I'm not going to get it. Admonish? I always think there's a D and a B, but maybe there isn't.
Admonish.
Admonish.
Yeah.
I think I'm adding a B in there that's not in the word.
Almost definitely, because there's no B in admonish, dude. Abdomish.
Yeah, that's what's in my
Yeah.
head.
How dare you crinkle your abs in a bad mood? That's all right. You want to know mine? I'll tell it to you. I don't care.
I would
You-
love nothing more.
You already know it, but this is for posterity, really.
It's important we capture these things.
Yeah.
You know?
There was a really good, and do you know how often we gravitate back towards sound design in these films?
Yeah.
But there was the scene where Zaccoli and James Reid from the Feelers, James Reid from the Feelers confronts Zaccoli and he says, "Did you fuck her?" And Zaccoli doesn't say yes because no one knows whether or not they actually had sex in the film.
Not even him.
They're in a strip club and they're in the bathroom and you can hear through the door, you hear it open at one point and shut, and you can hear through the door the sounds of the music playing in the strip club loudly next door. And it's yeah.
It's just like the bass line.
Yeah. It sounded less like sort of the Elephants on Parade song. Oh, big elephants on parade. They were actually playing that at the strip club. It was crazy. It's like, where are these strip clubs? I want to go to the one that plays nothing but Disney hits.
Yeah. Shit, yeah. All strip clubs that I've been to, which admittedly isn't many, but it's always got the same kind of... It's always Rihanna playing.
Yeah, there's something very dark to me about listening to A Whole New World by someone's
It
strips.
doesn't have to be Disney, but I just I want... What about just like some jazz? What about Miles Davis playing in a club while people are stripping? Would it be too hard to like kind of get the beat? You know?
Oh, yeah,
For
I
a
think,
routine?
yeah. Stripping to Miles Davis is a fool's errand, I imagine. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know that the people who are going into strip clubs are doing it to enjoy the people dancing in time to the music.
I've just got. That's
Well,
true.
I'm not going back in there. Those beautiful naked women could not keep time.
I've got such a dark vision in my head of a stripper doing a real slow motion pole dance to Louis Armstrong's "What a Wonderful World," and it's just like I don't think there's anything sadder.
No. Very little. But yeah,
it's so vivid in my mind's eye too. I'm seeing it play out. That's so sad.
just stop it from
God
happening.
damn,
That's
sad.
your mind's eye. And now you've done it to some audience members, definitely.
Yeah.
Don't get stuck in the K-hole. But yeah, so for me it was the sound design. So it was like just the very accurate and beautifully caught sensation of being in a room while music loudly plays next door. You know, we were one man walking out of one of the cubicles and going, "Would you stop the banging on the damn furnace?" from being inside of one of Shauna Paul's smash hit video clips. Not enough people remember the Shauna Paul video clip where there was a very good character called Disgruntled Neighbour.
Keep dig.
And
Keep
what
on
he would
digging.
do is just throughout...
Dig that hole, guy. Dig your way out.
I'm trying, but someone keeps talking over me. They'll just come out, and in the middle of the video clip, it was as though the party was happening in the video clip in a room either above or beneath where this other guy lived, and he'd come out occasionally and he'd say, "Would you guys stop banging on..." He didn't mind about the party. He loved the party. It was just that they kept banging on the furnace. I don't even know what a furnace
that
is.
amazing music video? And I think it was like one of the first real big music videos with twerking in it.
Ben Stiller, Taylor, Jack Johnson.
Just threw like 3 disparate names at me.
No. Jack Johnson's video clip for Taylor is what you're thinking of with Ben Stiller.
It's not
Okay.
at all.
Well, it's what I'm
Was
thinking
he
of.
twerking in a Jack
No.
Johnson video?
I'd started saying that before you said the word twerking.
There's a music video and she's like twerking hard out and I think smashes through the floor and then falls down into like the kitchen and everything's a bit grubby and then it kind of like catches to all the different people around. It's like a virus.
You're
twerking.
describing one of the episodes of the smash hit show Fail Army, which I co-host in New Zealand. It's not a video.
Not a lot of Fail Army fans in the crowd tonight, I
In
see.
in
A
Sydney,
damn shame.
Australia.
It's such a good show.
Yeah, it's really good.
What I want to do is get all of the episodes of Fail Army hosted by Guy Montgomery and Joseph Moore and get them torrented. I want to get them on Pirate Bay.
Man,
ASAP.
I want nothing less than that to happen. I the way I look at Fail Army is like, I'll burn New Zealand, sure, but the rest of the world doesn't know this is happening.
Do we have any other business we need to
Yeah,
attend
we
to?
do.
What is it?
2, 3, 4. Getting sentimental with James Reed from the Feelers.
Yeah.
Do you know what Tim talked about while we were watching the movie this week? Wouldn't it be a lark? Wouldn't it be a laugh if at the end of season 3, the last season of the worst series of all time, we got matching tattoos of the face of James Reed from the actual Feelers,
New Zealand's James Reed from the Feelers.
who is, by all accounts, like quite an unhappy, washed-up rock star. And I think we should get him present day.
He's still. That is funny. He's still touring, man. Did you know that? He's on like.
He's not touring. The band is touring.
He's on those pub tours. He's on those gigs.
You
up
got to eat, man.
in Northland.
It's work.
Yeah.
I can't
Yeah,
wait.
you're
For,
right.
I can't wait for 30 years from now, and we're touring the worst idea of all time in small town New Zealand, playing
Strange
Hokitika.
concept.
I remember 30 years ago, and we kept watching this. Like, what a crazy time that was! Boo! We would get so booed.
No one would be there to boo. It's such an absurd concept.
I think we just.
I love the idea of us booking out, even in 2 years from now, I think everyone will have forgotten. Just booking out a hall, being very ambitious with the marketing. Gets a lot of spend online, a lot of posters around town, a lot of flyering, and then just we turn up. What would it even be? Just us reminiscing.
People love people reminiscing. They
know,
really
man.
do.
I don't think that's true.
That's all of Mark Maron's podcast. He goes, hey, what was it like when you started comedy? And then they just walk down memory lane, and Mark Maron keeps making it about him. And you're like, come on, Maron.
I had to stop listening to that because I was sick of hearing about Mark Maron's dad. I wasn't even sick of hearing about him. I was just like, all right, you've got Bruce Willis in. How are you going to make this one about your dad, Mark?
You know, actually, Bruce, you remind me a lot of a very stern male figure in my life. My father.
God damn it, Mark.
So, getting to a minute with James Reed.
Oh,
Tim,
yeah,
I put
sorry.
it to you. What is in the box?
Yeah. Well, this week, sentimental gift fits in a MacBook Pro box. What is it? It is a Chromebook. Shame.
Is a Chromebook a Google computer?
Yeah, and they're like $300 brand new, and they're a bit shit. But you can knock them round a bit. That's their whole point.
What does it do? Is it a
round.
laptop?
Yeah, it's a laptop. It's basically just so you can go on the internet and that's it.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
What's wrong with a Chromebook? Why are you
Oh,
saying
all right,
shame?
It's a good gift.
Yeah.
Because if you're set up to be receiving a $2,000 brand new MacBook Pro,
Oh,
you open
yeah.
it and you've got a glorified
That
calculator,
is
it's
a-
like,
It's a good prank. It's like putting a magazine in a PlayStation 2 box, you know. That didn't happen to me. It didn't, so I don't know why we're still talking about it.
You know what though? For all the shit we give this movie, there's still a few tracks on that soundtrack which kick every time for me. There's one as the credits are playing.
Oh, well,
it's the
that's
one before-
Pavlovian.
Oh yeah, you might be right actually. Yeah.
I don't think that song would hit you half as hard outside of the
Yeah.
context of watching the film.
Fuck, maybe you're right. Like REO Speedwagon, you hear those bars, it's like, we're done it, we're out,
Yeah.
here we go.
It's interesting though because Sydney Lauper's True Colours has even though that represents the end of Sex and the City 2, that represents like one of the darkest periods of my life.
Yeah.
And the tragic irony of that is the song's all about, you know, telling people how you feel. And if I ever meet Sydney Lauper, I'll be like, all right, Cindy
Cindy
Sydney?
Lauper,
Lauper.
I would say.
No, maybe I'm thinking of the cheap knockoff version of it. Real Shades by Sandy Lepper. Sandy Lepper with
Produced on a Chromebook, and it's all like a little bit 8-bit and shitty.
It's Bizarro World, True
Yeah.
Colours.
Music.
But that's the only instance whereby the closing credits song does not have a positive feeling, but a very, very dark response. Very visceral.
Isn't it interesting how some things that make you feel different?
Yeah, you're right, Tim. It's real interesting. It's weird how
This
it's
movie,
weird,
we are really plumbing the depths at this point. I mean,
it's weird how sometimes you're in a
bottom of
good
that well.
mood, and then sometimes you're not in a good mood.
I know, and now, like, consistently now, because I keep thinking you are stopping me to say
No.
something.
You finished, but I just to log that I have something I want to talk about publicly.
Very good. For the last few weeks, it's felt a little bit low energy watching the movie, and it isn't just like, oh, this movie's, I'm a bit hungover or a bit tired, didn't get enough sleep last night. It's like, no, that's where we are, and that's where we will remain.
It's a
until
lack
the
of
end now.
cocaine as well, I think.
Yeah, that's true. Fuck, do you know what? And we don't, okay, full disclosure, because we don't normally talk about this, but seasons 1 and 2, we were smoking a lot of weed while we were recording. And there has been a distinct lack of marijuana involved with this season of the podcast, and I think much to its detriment. Thoughts?
Yeah, no. If listened to from start to finish, this podcast is by all accounts a glittering advertisement for the illegal drug weed.
Yeah. And a really damning indictment on sobriety.
Yeah. It's all context specific, but you're absolutely
Yeah.
right.
Anyone can be funny if you're willing to break the law a little bit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Uh,
Now, what were you going to say?
I was just going to say, the segue to the point it's kind of lost. But last night, Tim and I we had
all right, mate.
we had a lovely night together.
Yeah.
we went out for a and this is I think this is maybe the first time in a long time we've literally managed to hang out without any work, any context of the podcast or what's going or what we have to plan or something. Touching the conversation. We went out for a beautiful meal.
Yeah.
And then we had a lovely cocktail.
Do you want to name check the place? Because they really looked after us.
I can't remember the name of it.
Me neither. It's in Redfern. It's
a
an
nice.
Italian
It's a nice.
restaurant.
It's
Your
got
chances
it's
are
got
now-
red lettering on a white sign. It's a nice Italian restaurant in Redfern, and then we had a lovely cocktail afterwards.
Yeah.
And then we went our separate ways, and we're staying quite close to each other here in Sydney. You had like a 10-minute walk to get home. And what did you tell me
Oh,
that you thought
this
as
is
soon
so
as
sad. So as I was like, because we'd had a few drinks too, so I was like,
And we'd
fuck,
had
that
a
was
really
hang.
good catch up.
Real
You know
good
when you
hang.
catch up with a friend and you're like, wow, we really just connected for like 3 hours. It was beautiful.
And then I was walking home and I was like, oh, fuck, you know what? I should have got a selfie of us so that I could sell some more tickets for the show tomorrow. And then as soon as I thought it, I was like, I am a fucking monster. That is my friend, Guy Montgomery. And I can't even go to dinner with him now without thinking about how to exploit it to promote the thing we make. And it made me sick to my stomach about what I've become and what this relationship now is. And I felt sad.
Yeah, and then you told me about it, and I also felt sad. Whereas the whole day, I was like, wow, it was really nice hanging out with Tim last night. I didn't realize it was just a marketing opportunity that you flubbed.
Yeah, well, spade is spade, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, that's probably it, I'd say, for this week.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough too.
Yeah.
You guys, it's been so good. What is it? There's like another 7 plus 2.
9?
Yes. I think the mistake I made was asking who was more intelligent than realizing that as a unit we are greater than the sum of its parts.
Absolutely correct. That is the important bit to remember. Yeah.
Tim does the sums. I provide them. No, we do have to put a pin in it, but it's been. Thank you so much for coming out, Tim. You've got a. Should we end the record now and then talk about stuff that we're going to do immediately? Yeah. So thanks for listening, everybody. We'll be back next week.
This movie's still fine. One of them dies, that goes screw. One of them's a hottie, his name is Jay. One of them looks like Johnny Depp, and his name is Johnny Depp.
Classic Maximum Joseph.
You forget that films are supposed to have a point.
Thanks for listening to this podcast. If you're thirsty for another, why not try The Male Gaze?
The Wizard of Oz is a real, you could tell, movie if your kid is really into it.
Well, that'd be where the phrase "Friends of Dorothy" comes from, or is
Yes.
that just because people with Judy Garland had lots of gay friends?
No, both, probably.
Yeah.
It's just so interesting. I mean, the movie's camp, but not kind of camp in the way that, like, Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert's camp.
Yeah.
You know, but it's just, I guess it's about that, like, sort of young girl lost in...
I think it's camp in almost the exact same way as Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert.
The Lollipop Guild is not camp.
All of the prominent roles are women in, like, iconic dresses.
It's just that in Priscilla, it's men as women in dresses.